BMW M2. Boy, have I waited a long time to drive this. Now, let's address the elephant in the room straight away. What do you think of the way it looks? I've got to be honest, it is growing on me. I'm probably going to get a lot of stick for this, but it's really growing on me. It's got so much presence on the road and so many people look at it. It really attracts attention, I think, in a way that the previous generation didn't. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let us know in the comments what you think of the looks. The new M2 features an updated version of the S58 found in the M3 and the M4, only with slightly less power. We've got 450 horsepower, 500 newton meters of torque, all put to the road through a standard 8-speed automatic gearbox. Now, you can get a manual gearbox for this car, however you have to pay for it. And the reason BMW have done that is because that 1 in 10 previous generation M2s were manuals. So why not make the auto standard? Kind of makes sense. With the manual gearbox, 0 to 62 is dealt with in 4.3 seconds. And with the auto, which is what I've got here, it's dealt with in 4.1 seconds. So what's that feel like? Well, it feels mighty. It feels mighty quick. This engine feels so strong. It's got such a strong power delivery in the way that it just takes off. The kickdown is nice and fast as well. When you plant the throttle, when you're in complete comfort, normal, efficient mode, the way that it kicks down and just takes off like a rocket is highly, highly impressive. And then we get to the other bits of this car. So it is slightly wider, it's slightly longer. As you can see, it's a bigger car than the outgoing M2. And that's because it's based on a 2 Series platform that's actually no longer based on the 1 Series. It's based on a shortened version of the 4 Series platform. So of course it's going to be bigger. All cars are getting bigger now anyway. But we've got adaptive dampers, we've got M brakes, we've got M steering, we've got, as I say, the 8-speed automatic gearbox, which is lightning quick when you pull one of these really nice carbon shift paddles. But yeah, when you are really on it, the car just comes alive. I know a lot of this noise is pumped in through the cabin, but I don't really care because it sounds good. It sounds rough, and it sounds, I don't know, quite meaty and just strong. It feels strong in every sense of the word. The power delivery, the noise, everything. And then when you get to some corners, the chuckability of this car is exceptional. It's not the leery monster that the original M2 was. I can't stress that enough. It is not like that car. It hasn't got that car's just scary nature that you might be a few seconds from a hedge. No, this car is mighty, mighty fast in a straight line, but it's incredibly usable when you get to some of the twisty stuff. It doesn't feel intimidating at all. You press one of these red M buttons and put it into your settings. I have the engine in Sport Plus, the gearbox in Sport Plus, and then everything else in Comfort, because I like the fluidity that it attacks the roads and the dampers in the Comfort setting, and I like the feel through the steering wheel in Comfort rather than Sport Plus where it weights up. Of course, all that power is put through the rear wheels, which we weren't sure whether this car was going to be 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive, but it's come out as a pure rear-wheel drive car, and I absolutely love BMW for doing that. There's something so joyful about the current M Division products, and this M2 is no exception. The way that it just makes you smile and just makes you so happy to just use it and really enjoy the car. And because it's now more usable and less scary, you really can exploit this car in every single scenario. It is an incredibly easy car to drive now. I've just pulled over because we need to have a look at some of the other design cues on the M2. It's quite boxy and square down here. The kidney grills That's very different to what we've seen before. It hasn't inherited the big, large grills like on the M3 or the M4. This particular car is finished in Brooklyn grey, and it's got the full M Performance kit on it. So you've got the carbon fibre down here, carbon fibre here, carbon fibre there, carbon fibre over there, carbon fibre on the rear, and it's also got the M Performance exhaust, which I'm not really a fan of, to be honest, but it does sound mega. Again, what do you guys think of the looks of this car? I'm probably going to get some flack for this, but it is 100% growing on me. And I tell you what, it's got some incredible road presence when you're driving. What about the interior? Inside the M2 is instantly familiar if you've been in a modern BMW. It's actually based on the 2 Series platform in here. So you've got the same steering wheel, you've got the operating system 8 infotainment system, which wraps around and actually has all the air conditioning and heated seats and so on, all on the screen. There's now a lot less buttons in here, a lot less clutter. I love the carbon fibre across the dash, down here in the centre, and all over the steering wheel. They are really the telltale bits that this is an M2 over an M240i. As well as that, we have these stunning M seats with the dual colour, the blue and the red on the seat. I absolutely love that. The seating position is absolutely bob on in here. It's a great view out and it just feels like a really special place to sit. I love these carbon fibre shift paddles here as well. All it makes you want to do is take it for a drive. So let's head back out onto the road and carry on our discussion about how this thing drives. But what about if you dial everything back into comfort? Well, the car then is very pliant. It's now a much more usable everyday car than the M2 that came before. When you dial everything back into comfort, efficient, it becomes so much more usable on a daily basis than the M2 that came before this. It's now genuinely a really comfortable, usable car on a daily basis. It's become much more of a grand tour, I think. It feels like the M2 has kind of matured since the previous generation. It's now genuinely a usable car. There's plenty of space in here. There's loads of space in the boot. It's now just more grown up, but still can absolutely rip your throat out if you want it to. It's so responsive, man. The throttle response is so lightning quick. I love this engine. This new S58 is just a work of art. The way that it picks up is just fantastic in pretty much any gear, but third gear in particular really is stronger. It can take you, I think, from 10 miles an hour up to 90, and it's a real sweet spot. You keep the car in third, and it just seems like the ratio to be in at all times. It feels wonderful, it really does. I love the steering, I love the way that it rides on the road. The brakes feel mighty, really nice feedback through the pedal as well. I like the heads-up display we've got. I like the display in here. I like the dash. I like the looking out over M wing mirrors. I love looking over the bonnet. I love the way it feels. I love the way it drives. Not 100% sure on the way it looks. I don't love the way it looks, but I think it's really starting to grow, and I do really like the way it looks. But yeah, it's met all of those expectations. I had such high expectations because I adored the original M2. We don't have a competition, we don't have a CS version of this car yet. We'll see what the future holds. You can only get just the M2 here in the UK. And yeah, it's pretty special, this, and it might well be the very last purely internal combustion engine rear-wheel drive M car that we'll see. Because I mean, I imagine everything from now is going to go hybrid and four-wheel drive like it is in the M3 and the M4, M5, M, everything. But yeah, I mean, as a last swan song, as a last hurrah for what a BMW M car traditionally was, yeah, it's a bit of a send-off, this. It's a hell of a send-off. I think it's absolutely wonderful. And if you want any more information on the new BMW M2, please use the link in the description of this video to contact your nearest Rybrook BMW retailer. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel for plenty more content to come. and I will see you guys again very, very soon.